On episode 123 of He Said, She Said Movie Reviews, we take a look at the movie Bombshell, written by Charles Randolph and directed by J. Roach. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
Okay, so we've gotten a little behind, but we saw Bombshell a couple days ago. I give this movie 2.5 stars, and April, you give it?
Wow, Tim. I definitely give it a 3.5. The acting alone is worth it.
We'll tell you all about it right after these two trailers.
Wow, I'm in shock. The first trailer is Fantasy Island. It's a horror adaptation of the popular 70s TV show about a magical island resort. The release date is Valentine's Day 2020. It's with Maggie, Portia, Doubleday, and Michael Peña. Looks very interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this. I was a huge Fantasy Island fan as a kid, so a horror version of this sounds really interesting.
It sure
and Michael
does.
Peña plays Mr. Rourke.
All right. The second, we're saying this again because we want to mention this trailer because we saw the red band. It made it look a lot better. Like a Boss, it's about two friends with very different ideas. They start a beauty company together. One is more practical while the other wants to earn her fortune and live a lavish lifestyle. The release date's January 19th, 2020. Rose Byrne, Salma Hayek, and Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, we had to bring this up again because the first time we saw this trailer, both of us trashed the trailer. And I'll have to tell you, we saw the red band trailer in front of Bombshell. This movie looks hilarious, and now I really want to see it. So you never know.
Me too.
Okay, Bombshell. The storyline for Bombshell is about a group of women who take on Fox News head Roger Ailes and the toxic atmosphere he presided over at the network. The director in this is J. Roach. He's known for Austin Powers 1, 2, 3, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Dinner for Schmucks, and The Campaign. And the writer was Charles Randolph. He's known for The Life of David Gale, Love and Other Drugs, and The Big Short.
All right, and a fantastic cast. You've got Charlize, Theron, you've got Nicole Kidman, Margot Robbie, John Lithgow, Allison, Janney, Malcolm McDowell, Kate McKinnon, Connie, Britton, Rob Delaney, and Mark Duplass.
It has a runtime of 108 minutes and it's rated R for sexual material and language throughout. Okay, so April's in shock that I give this movie a 2.5 stars.
Well, I
and
am
she gave
because
it a 3.5 stars.
The acting.
Well, let me tell you why. Since I give it a 2.5 stars, I will justify this. And for me, this is a victim of waiting several days to do this podcast because my initial reaction was a 3.5, maybe even a 4. But I'll tell you, when I was sitting here getting ready to put the sheet together, because I put a sheet together with the movie, I noticed something very peculiar about this movie. And then I read a review online where they said, this is a great movie from a woman's perspective. And I scratched my head and said, wait a second, this movie was written and directed by men. How could this movie be from a woman's perspective? The movie wasn't from, and that's where it falls for me. I would have loved to have seen this movie directed by a woman and written by a woman. I don't think we got the motivation behind the characters in this movie. I don't think we really got how this affected Megyn Kelly and Gretchen Carlson. And that's for me why this movie gets a immediate 1-star knock for me.
All right. Well, to me, that's all bizarre. I mean, you go to a movie and you review it for different reasons, but the bottom line, this was a very tough subject. Obviously, I did not go into this looking forward to see a movie about the harassment of women.
Do you feel like, as a woman, do you really felt like you got the woman's perspective in this movie? I had to think about that after I saw that. I said, wow, I really don't think
yes,
you did.
Tim.
Okay.
Yes, they did it their own way. They were sharing their own way, which is probably what happens to each and every woman.
No, I know that the characters did, but do you think that this really portrayed what really happens to a woman, how a woman really handles sexual harassment?
Wow.
I don't know that a male writer can give you that perspective. Right? Okay, so let's talk about the theme in the movie. Of course, the theme is about sexual harassment at the workplace and that it's the ultimate power.
First of all, with acting and characters, you had 3 Oscar winners and 1 Oscar nominee in the 4 top roles. You can't go wrong. The acting was superb. I know you mentioned that the direction was just okay. I felt like for the acting, they even had mannerisms down.
Oh, absolutely. I think Charlize Theron was Megan Kelly. I mean, I was blown away by her acting. And if she isn't nominated again for an Academy Award for this role.
And Nicole Kidman, too.
Yeah.
Her character was spot on.
Even Margot Robbie. And of course, you had a great cast of men in this movie, too. Come on. John Lithgow did
the creepiest
Roger Ailes like you wouldn't believe. So.
And they made his character, just absolutely beyond anything creepy.
So, okay. The score? I don't even remember the score to the movie.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't memorable at all.
Cinematography?
Well shot.
Yeah, it was a good movie. As far as cinematography, it was clear. Everything, the production design was great.
The special effects, the makeup for John Lithgow, how they transformed him to look like Roger, that was amazing.
And he's such a great actor. I mean, John Lithgow is a really phenomenal actor.
Yes.
I think I first got to know him when in one of your favorite movies was Terms of Endearment.
And Footloose, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Footloose. Yes, right? He was the father in Footloose, but he's a phenomenal actor. So,
but, the theme with this movie, there is great acting, but I do want to say, I know you mentioned you wish you had seen more about, heard from each character more.
I would have liked to have seen like Nicole Kidman's character, Gretchen Carlson. You never really figured out what her motivation was. She was the one who did everything, who started the snowball, right?
Right. Her motivation was she was tired of it and didn't want other women to suffer, honey.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. And that's okay. All right.
But you wanted to hear more about her reasoning?
Yes. I mean, what was the event that made her snap type of thing? And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So she decided a long time before she was done with his BS. I can tell you that.
So
she went a lot longer than I would have.
Yeah,
sure.
she certainly did. So what do you think of the pace of this movie?
I thought the pace, I thought I had a lot crammed in. I agree that it could have gone in further areas. A lot they put in. The dialogue was very well written. It's really interesting with this movie because I've had a few days, too, to think about it. I think that such different women, the characters, and they all responded differently to workplace sexual harassment. And I think that's probably true each and every day. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And I think I said this to because our daughter went with us, too, to see this movie. And I think I said this to both of you. When I sit there and I watch a movie as a man like this, and this, the whole he said, she said thing, when I sit there as a man, I sit there and I say, are men really this creepy?
It's just, it's sickening. I know that I, feel so blessed in my corporate career. I've, no doubt had amazing peers and higher level bosses that were men that just did nothing but support me. So I feel very, very blessed. But I can tell you that every woman, no doubt, has something come her way. I know I did, just only a few times. But one time I remember having to teach a gentleman a lesson in the middle of the airport. But I did it, and I guarantee you he learned something from that moment.
I'm sure he did.
I just think that, anyone can sit around and say they wouldn't put up with it. But I believe that, and this is why I'm so passionate about teaching young girls in particular, that silence is agreement. So you've got to speak up. You have to use your voice. I don't care what age you are or when it is. Because if you're not, then it continues. So.
All right. I hear you and I understand. And once again, like Dark Waters, this is a movie I think everybody needs to see.
Yes.
And if you're a man, you really need to see this.
Yeah.
From whatever point of view you're taking it, you need to see it because it's important. And it has an important message. As I said, I wish this had been from a truly female perspective. That's all I'm saying. And once again, how did a comedian director, a guy who gave us Austin Powers, Meet the Fockers, and Meet the Parents, and Dinner for Schmucks in The Campaign, what was he doing directing a very serious movie that was written by the guy who gave us The Big Short?
Well, he probably took this as a serious opportunity. I mean, I think that the movie, it's interesting because it's hard to tiptoe around a little bit here, but what was interesting about this movie is it's really not a movie where a lot of ranting and raving by women for women is going on. You need to understand that. It's a lot of things were subtle, number one. Number two, they showed very different viewpoints of how very different women handled their situation. So I think the movie was well thought out. In my opinion, the movie was understated. To be direct.
And I agree. That's where we agree. And I think a woman point of view would have given it more statement. And you certainly can't call this a feminist movie because the women of Fox certainly aren't a feminist group of women.
Well, we need to be careful that we're not saying what women are.
That.
I mean, and what they're not. They determine that every day of their lives.
That's me mansplaining.
Okay. It's difficult. This is a difficult subject. Certainly, I feel very passionately about this. I think sexual discrimination in the workplace and harassment, and I just would never. All right, let's move on. This is a difficult topic, but I thought it was a movie that was a lot more subtle than I expected. I'll leave it there.
There you go. So I'll give it 3 stars. April convinced me to take away half of that negative point. I'll give it 3 stars. April gives this movie 3.5 stars. I think it's a must-see, though, for everybody.
Right, but I am going to give it 4 for the acting. I mean, the characters, it was just amazing. Even all the way down to the mannerisms of John Lithgow. That was just creepy. I found myself still thinking about it. So, days later. Anyway, y'all go to the movies. This is the time of year to go and see them.
And get ready for the Oscars. They're coming up soon enough. February 9th. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing y'all at the movies. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for all your support. And I know some of y'all agree with us some days and some days you don't. But you know what? We'll see you at the movies.